So something I want to say at the start of this video is it's easier to ledge Skaven bosses than Chaos bosses. Rat Ogres and Storm Fiends will go further, and so for some ledge spots that's relevant, and I kind of mention it
Guildsman's Lift,
in
wasn't it?
specific
Don't
parts
think
of
we're
this
gonna
video, but
pass
that's
it.
just something to keep in mind. Alright, so this video is going to be talking about ledging in locations where I would say I consider them difficult, and what I mean by that is I just see a high failure rate in these
Anyone need a
locations.
healing drop?
So
Much
Halescourge,
better it
this
fast.
area, is a place that has a really easy ledge if you do it correctly. If you try to like send them through here, you can't ledge through here. I feel like I've seen it sometimes happen. Maybe the game glitches out, but you're not supposed to be able to ledge through there. Same thing with down here. Like, you're really not supposed to ledge them through here. It's this area right here. And fortunately, on this map, the boss always comes through these double doors here, which gives you a really easy ledge ability, which is to just lead the boss this way and jump off the side. Hopefully you bait it out. Hopefully you don't get slammed. Maybe you do. Like I managed to get slammed because I'm on GK, so I was being close to the boss. On solo, obviously, I could have just ran immediately, but basically you just get it off the side with someone who baits it. People would stagger, wait down here, and the moment the boss jumps off, you send it off. When you try to ledge it, like hiding in this corner, you can do that with Battle Wizard. You can have people with stagger wait over here, but the thing is, if you have people with stagger here, and you try to bait the boss this way, the boss is probably going to aggro on them, right? And that's really not an ideal situation. So on this map, just lead it this way, and you really avoid a lot of problems. If things go really, really wrong, you can lead the boss here, and then all the way around here, and then the people with stagger who are over here can send it off as it comes across the corner, or you yourself can just ledge it as it turns this corner. But realistically, just get it off here, jump down, and that's going to be your easiest way to ledge. Another spot that I've seen a lot of confusion on is Hail Scourge. This spot is actually pretty easy to ledge, although I don't think it's as easy as the other spot. If you're over here, basically you just have someone bait the aggro, and it really just made it super easy for me by jumping. You need like 3 sources of stagger if you're using that spot. As you saw, GK wasn't enough. Basically, you just get it up to here, and then you send it off the map, and you want to have someone just stand in this corner, which makes it super safe. It's pretty easy to ledge trolls from here, actually. If it doesn't just jump straight to you, it'll be a little more difficult. You want to kind of sit in the corner like that, and then you can get it off. Yeah, as I said, a shout right there would get it off, so you want someone with another source of aggro. If you try to ledge it by just like standing down here, there's several issues with that. The first one is like you might get gassed, you might get stuck on the ladder and die like that, which is why you should do it the way I recommended you do it. Now, a different spot where it's even easier to ledge is actually over here. You basically just walk it off here and crouch against the wall. You'll never get yourself ledged as you crouch, and as you see, it just goes right on by. It's a super easy ledge spot, and again, the main thing you have to do is just crouch. Just crouch against the wall. You will not get hit off. Obviously, make sure it's not doing a slam attack, and then super easy to ledge. I can even show a bile troll. It's really no issue. As long as you have enough health to survive a hit while you're blocking. And you might also get duped on, so there's, you know, let's see. What the fuck is he doing? But yeah, and then if you watch my troll guide, you'll know that now is a good time to ledge it. And apparently you need a little more stagger than that. As I said, for trolls, you want 3 sources of stagger, not just 2. This ult has 2 sources. And one more thing to keep in mind for this spot is it's really important to not do this solo. I know I was doing it solo, but if you have something like a chaos spawn and it tries to just grab you when you don't expect it to from here, it's why you want someone else with stagger when you do this ledge, or you just play Battle Wizard and do everything yourself. But if you have like one person with shout and the spawn tries to grab you, well, they can just shout it, and then this person has like a perfect angle to ledge it, either straight off this way or just dropping down and ledging it this way. Now, for this zone, you can ledge the boss over here, but it's really risky because all it takes is it to like find a clipping, and it can teleport even onto one of these spots if you try to ledge any one of these little walkways. So ledging it over here is kind of an unnecessary gamble. If you're trying to be fast, for some reason I never see people ledge over here, but you can ledge over here, and in fact, I would recommend ledging over here if you're not trying to back all the way up to the hold spot. Say you want to hold like this corner over here is a good hold spot, and you don't want to back all the way up. So when the boss spawns, you can just drag it this way. Obviously, you'll need to have someone over here camping this spot to make sure a special doesn't interfere, but you can just drag the ogre around this, or whatever spawn, or whatever boss you get. Pretty easy to just, like, drag it like this. And then you can ledge it on here, or you can send it off, depending on how fast you're going to be. If that wasn't a rat ogre, like say it was a chaos spawn, it probably wouldn't have actually managed to get up on that railing. It would have just been sent off the map. Actually, no, it does go up. I didn't think the spawn would do that. Either way, it doesn't really matter at what point you ledge it. You can send it off this side too. Now, when you get the boss trigger over here, you're probably a little surprised this is in the video because I said it was going to be difficult ledges or things people mess up, but yeah, this is something a lot of people mess up, and the reason is because bosses will hit you through the wall, and so when you do the Grim ledge down here, it's really important you stand far back. What I mean by that is, say there's a chaos spawn over there, hopefully it chases me the right way. You go down here, and you want to stand all the way back here. You don't want to stand further forward. And then it'll actually drop where you want it to. If you stand, like, here, and say the ogre, sometimes it'll come from that way. It might start hitting people through the wall, like here. The ogre will stand here and try to hit you through the wall. If you stand about here is where I say the bosses will actually come through the door you want them to. So make sure everyone's standing back here. Otherwise, you're going to have a bad surprise. Now, some other things about this map I've seen people mess up. You can't ledge through here, no matter how hard you try. As far as I'm aware, you cannot ledge here. You cannot ledge here. I've never actually tried myself to ledge here, but I'm 99% sure you can't ledge here. Looks like you can, but you can't. And then, of course, this spot, all of these spots, you can't ledge no matter how hard you try. So don't try to ledge like you might see some people over here. Alright, so this is a ledge spot. Sometimes it's worth pushing all the way up here if you get that trigger all the way from the ladder. But usually if you have a decent team, you can either kite on the beach, or if you drop down, you can kite using the reroute at the second house. But if you're over here, there's a good ledge you can do. You want to do it the way I recommend, by ledging over here. So you want to drag the boss this way, all the way around, so that you can ledge on that side. You have to be very close, whoever's baiting the boss, at all times, or it might just decide to climb up top, and then it'll be difficult to ledge. Basically, just lead it around the corner, send it off to there. You have to send it very far, so you have to do this ledge at the right time. If you try to ledge it like here, it might go here and then teleport back on. You need to send it all the way down there. You can also ledge the boss from here. If you ledge the boss from here, though, you have to hit it around this area. If you hit it down there, it'll live. What I mean by that is if you try to ledge the boss from here, that's not going to work. It's going to live. See, it's still alive. But if you ledge it perfect angle over there, that should kill it. So it's not impossible to ledge it this way, but like, I wouldn't recommend it. Sometimes, like, if you try to ledge it here, you can get it from there, but it's a little finicky. So I'd recommend getting it all the way down there, unless your team practices it a bunch and feels comfortable with it. Okay, this is kind of an obscure ledge. I really don't see the use of it because ledging over there and whatever is pretty easy. But you can ledge, I will point out. Maybe it would be more useful on like Twitch mode or something. It's a pretty easy ledge where you just get it like that. Or you can, I usually send it over here. I've never actually sent it on that side. That surprised me quite a bit. Usually, you can just send it over. Man, this is a very strange spot. But, yeah, there's some things you can do here. And, oh, in that context, don't get baited. This isn't a ledge. You can't ledge over here. It's like, if anyone's ever tried. I don't think I've ever seen anyone attempt to, but it's definitely very baity. So, Old Haunts has a lot of different ledges that I know people can have issues with. You can either go left or right on this map. I mean, you can go middle too. I really like going left on this map. People don't like me when I say that, though. I guess people like looting all the items, and then eventually either testing the cellar. I'm not going to go into all of that, though. But generally, you're going to see people going this way, even if I don't like it that much. And there's several options you have to ledge. And the most common one I see is going down here. But it's pretty hard to ledge this way with chaos monsters. I feel like it's a little inconsistent sometimes, trying to ledge like a chaos spawn in this area. You can kind of ledge them over here sometimes, but I don't really recommend. What are these spawns, man? If you have a rat ogre and you come down here and you get it to follow you, it's pretty easy to just send them off. But chaos monsters, as I don't know if I mentioned this at the start of the video, but I'll say it now. Chaos monsters move and stagger less than Skaven monsters. So for Skaven monsters, it's really easy to get them off, but for like a chaos spawn, it's super hard sometimes to send them over objects. As you saw when I tried to ledge this spawn. So the spot I found that's really best is over here. And the way you can do that is you can do it in several ways. The easiest would be to have someone bait the monster for you, and then take it over here. Another way would be to drop down and send it. Either way, I'm going to do it like I'm baiting it on my own, which makes it a little harder. If I can do it on my own, well, you can definitely do it in a group. Actually, maybe I can't get it on my own, but yeah, you have someone bait it here for you. And then, obviously, it ends up over there, and you just stagger it off. So you need the person with stagger to be behind the boss. And the person that baits it just gets it right there. And, yeah, you can just stagger it off. I don't know why this creature spawn doesn't work here. But, yeah, long story short, this is definitely the most consistent spot on this map. Okay, if you're a Giga-chad and you go this side on this map, there's a super, super easy ledge you have, which is to get up here. You can do it by jumping up here, so you can have, like, anyone can bait the boss. Or as long, basically the person with the best stagger shouldn't be baiting the boss. But anyone else can just jump up here, as I failed to jump like 5 times in a row. You just jump over here, you get the boss aggro wherever it's coming from. Say it's over there, it climbs up, and then you just go right on down and look at it. It's in a really easy ledge spot, as I demonstrate why you want the person who's staggering the boss to not be the person baiting it. Because I messed that up. Basically, you just drop it down there. The person staggering it stands at a bit of an angle, and you send it off the map. And it always drops at that one spot. Makes it super easy. If you're the person not drawing aggro, I would recommend you stand like right here. As you can see, when the boss drops down, you're at an angle, and so when you ledge it, it's going to go off the map. It's not going to like teleport on here or anything like that. And I've been trying to credit people who I've seen do this ledge for the first time, if I'm able to remember. I don't think I've credited anyone in this video so far, but this spot, I've seen, I think, Rat and New Type do this, and so that's where I got this ledge from. Okay, so Righteous Stand has some ledges that some people can have struggles with. These ledges aren't that hard, but on client they can be a real pain sometimes. You can send the boss over here, or over here. What you want to do is you want to have someone bait the boss, ideally to get it to stop, like over here, or over here, and then you just send it off. So for this one, I'll demonstrate both. Oh, I got too far. Oh no. So you just walk it down a little bit this way and then send it off like that. That was obviously a bit scuffed, which is why ideally you'll have the person holding boss aggro and then the people staggering over here. A couple things to point out is you can kind of send them over this lip. So you have a bit of, how should I say? It's a bit forgiving if you mess up the ledge a bit. Like if they end up over here, they'll still probably go off, especially if you angle them a bit. So just hit them in the same direction as everyone else and they should go off. Okay, for this region, you have a lot of options. For Skaven, you have the most options. You can ledge through here if you're really careful and you don't bounce off anything. You can ledge off of here, or for Skaven only, you can ledge right here. For Chaos spawns, you won't be able to send them off, and even for Skaven, it's not the most consistent. Ideally, you're going to get them about here. Whoever holds the boss gets it right there, and you do a couple stagger and send them off. So I can demonstrate. If you were holding a boss, you drag it to like here, and then whoever's next to it is going to stagger it and send it off like that. As I said, you can get it here, but it's a little risky. It might bounce off of something. And then, of course, you can't get Chaos over there. Now, there's the case where you might not be able to run up to this doorway the moment the boss spawns and shove it off this side right here. And in that case, you're going to have to use a Cannonball. Alright, so for the Cannonball ledge, the easiest to get it off of this cannon from what I found. For a Rat Ogre, you want to stand about here, and then get it to do its triple attack. And then you're just going to bait it to do standings over here, or you can just get it to bait standings over here however you want. Once it's over here, you just send it off. Your teammate can stand over here and get it really easily. Now, what you don't want to do, you don't want to stand here, you don't want to stand here. It's not going to be very consistent. Sometimes they'll climb up, if you're lucky, like that, and then that's a pretty easy ledge. But if you stand like here the whole time, you can't count on them doing what they just did. I've tested it like 10 times. They usually do not go onto the cannon, as I'm getting trolled, and it's doing that every time now. But yeah, sometimes they'll like get stuck next to it. I guess maybe the Chaos Spawn goes on it a bit more. Either way, I would say you should do it the way I recommended. These things will glitch out and do stupid things if you don't do that. So ledging on the first zone of Into the Nest, if you're on the bridge, is pretty easy. There's a lot of things you can do. If you're not able to get down there for some reason, there's a pretty difficult ledge to do where you just send a monster over the side. It's kind of hard to show solo, but you're going to drag the spawn this way or this way, and then you have whoever doesn't have aggro get to the side of it, use some stagger, and then the rest of the team will have to stagger it over the side. And so I'll try to show what that looks like solo, which is definitely a lot more difficult than if you have someone else. Basically, you just want to get to its side like this, and you have to get it onto the ledge like that. As you saw, it took me several tries. Basically, this area, I double-checked with some testing. I started to doubt myself for a second. It's easy for Skaven bosses to get ledged over, but the Chaos ones are the ones where I mentioned your team has to stagger them first because they're a lot harder to do. Again, similar to that spot, there's actually a ledge over here. It's a very easy ledge for Skaven, harder for Chaos. You have like a Rat Ogre, apparently I'm... No, I just canceled my ult, I think. Yeah. The person holding the boss needs to make sure it gets dragged to like right here, I would say. And the people staggering it need to be very careful. Again, it's not the easiest to show on solo, especially for what I'm about to do. I'm not even sure if I'm going to be able to do it on my own, but with Foot Knight at least, I could definitely get it with Battle Wizard, so I might just switch. Yeah, like that. It's really helpful when it's already in a stagger state to stagger it again, as you saw me do it like 3 times. basically, you just want to get it over here and everyone kind of stagger it in very close succession, and it'll go off. And then here's a spot on Into the Nest that I feel like there's a pretty high frequency of mistakes that happen on this spot. This is definitely a spot you don't want to ledge it solo. The procedure here is to take aggro. The people who don't have aggro should be out of the way, so they should be like over here. The people who are going to help ledge the boss, or are not the people aggroing it, should be like here. Person aggroing it can stand here, and then run away from it, and drag it this way, just safe. Or if you have high DPS with range, you can stand all the way back here. Then you just go down here, and when the boss gets to here, this is when these people just ledge it off. So I'm going to switch to Battle Wizard, just so this is a little more similar to what you would see if you were ledging this as a team.
Inside.
So you have the boss, and then as it goes to about right there, that's when your team's going to want to help you out and send it off.